Contingencies in real estate. What the heck are they? Let's talk about that. Hi, my name is Tonya Byrd. I'm with Keller Williams Realty Atlanta Partners in Peachtree City, Georgia. And today we're talking all about contingencies. And I'm going to talk about 3 contingencies that's most common around here in Georgia. I've got a bonus contingency that people think is a contingency, but is really not here in Georgia. So let's get started. I want to start off by first saying what a contingency is. So let's just look up on Google and see what the definition says. So it's a future event or circumstance which is possible but cannot be predicted with certainty. So that's what a contingency is. So let's first talk about our first contingency in real estate. I'm going to start off with appraisals. So the house has to appraise for the agreed upon price, the sales price that everybody's agreed upon. And depending on the loan, because some appraisals are more detailed than others, depending on the loan, it could also require some lender required repairs that the seller has to fix before everybody goes to closing. So that being said, if it doesn't appraise and you're within that window of having it appraised, then it is between the buyer and seller to work out, can we agree upon the appraised price and move forward? Or if it comes back appraised with lender repairs, can we agree that the seller is going to take care of those repairs so we can move forward? If not, then, the deal falls apart. It is what it is. You do need to keep an eye on this appraisal contingency window in the contract, because you don't want to order the appraisal too late and then you run out of time, because if you're out of that window and it doesn't appraise, then the buyer could potentially lose their earnest money. So my second contingency is the financing contingency. So the borrower also has to be approved by the lender, and they have to go through the underwriting process and their employment verified, and how much they make is verified, and all the monies that they have is verified, and their debt to income ratio and all that stuff is verified, and for the amount of price that they're getting their loan for. And as they're getting approved, they also have a period of time to get this done. If it falls within that range and you find out you can't get approved, then you can get out of the contract. But if it falls out of that period of time and you're like, oops, I can't get approved, sorry, then you might run the risk of losing your earnest money. And we don't want that to happen. So it's very important to look to see where these contingencies, these dates fall, so that make sure you're on track. The other contingency we have is contingent upon the sale of property. So sometimes you get in a situation where a buyer may own a home and they have to sell that home before they can buy their next one. So it's contingent upon that first home selling, and once that happens, then the second one can go through. This happens a lot, and I will tell you, you sometimes have closings where they're back to back. Even in my own personal life, I've had closings where they're back to back because I sold this house, and then on the very same day I went over and closed on the next one. So the only time that you could potentially run into problems is that your house doesn't sell, and that the seller of the house that you're getting ready to buy gets a better offer, and then you lose out on that house. That's called with a kick-out provision. And typically a seller can come back to a buyer and say, hey, I got a better offer. Either we can go through with the deal we have and you give up all your contingencies, or we're gonna have to terminate this contract so that the new purchase can go through. So those are a little bit of a delicate balance, and I'm gonna tell you that they can be done. So now here is my bonus contingency that's really not a contingency. So I'll have buyers tell me, oh, we're getting ready to make an offer. Let's make the offer contingent upon a home inspection. So it's really not a thing in Georgia. And when I practiced in Texas, it wasn't a thing either. So I don't know if it's a thing in other states. It's really not that way here. We have this thing called a due diligence period. And the due diligence period is a negotiated period of time that allows the buyer to inspect the home, and if they don't like what they find, they can back out for any reason. Typically, it's a 10 to 14 day period. Again, it's a negotiable number. And if we were to go binding today, day one would start tomorrow, and it also includes days, as in weekends and weekdays. This is something that you need to get the inspector in there early during the due diligence period. So if you run across something where you need a plumber or an HVAC person or a roofer to come out, then you have the time to have those people come out and inspect it as well. You can back out for any reason. You can wake up tomorrow and say, oh, made a mistake, I'm getting out, and you don't have to give any reason whatsoever. So that's why it's really not contingent upon an inspection, because you can get out of it with an inspection or not. The other thing about it is during that due diligence period, this is where you actually negotiate repairs. So if you find repairs that you want the seller to repair before you move into the house, that's when this period of time takes place, and everybody's got to come to an agreement. And if everybody's happy with the repairs that the seller's going to make for the buyers, then everybody can move along in the contract. If not, then the buyer has the right to leave. So I hope you found this content helpful in understanding contingencies a little bit better, especially in the state of Georgia. If you like this kind of content, please subscribe. Click that bell notification so you know when I drop new videos. Leave a comment, give me a thumbs up, give me some YouTube love. And if you need help in the greater Atlanta, I'm your gal. And if you need help finding a good real estate agent in your neck of the woods, let me know. I'll be glad to make that connection. And I will see y'all later. Bye.